is time for a hashtag productivity challenge. Welcome to the first week of March. And as we start out this month, thought it's a great time for us to just go check in on your productivity and see where you're at. In his book called Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity, David Allen says that our productivity is directly proportional to our ability to relax. Think about that for a moment. Our productivity is directly proportional to our ability to relax. I really struggle to relax, which means sometimes my productivity goes down a lot. And only when our minds are clear and our thoughts are organized can we really achieve effective productivity and unleash our creative potential. And you know, I'm all about unlocking potential and I'm all about hashtag productivity, right? So I just thought I would share a couple of quotes with you. Tim Ferriss. You know Tim Ferriss, he's been all over the place, blog posts, podcasts, all of those things. And he said that we should focus on being productive instead of being busy. I think that's so true. Dale Carnegie said that we must do the hard jobs first and the easy jobs will take care of themselves. Now, this might be very similar to that analogy about putting the big rocks in the vase first before you put the smaller rocks and the sand and then the water, right? It's about putting the big tasks in first. And then Franz Kafka, there we go, it's a bit of a tongue twister. He said, productivity is being able to do things that you were never able to do before. Just think about all the time that you can create if you are being productive. And then Francine J says, my goal is no longer to get more done, but rather to have less to do. I think that is everyone's dream. And that's why Tim Ferriss talks about the 4-hour work week, right? Because you find ways to get more, not necessarily more done, but you need to do less by structuring your week correctly. So this month, I want to dare you, if you're able, and all of us are able, and if you're willing, and hopefully you are willing, and you definitely have the capacity to do this, to join our productivity challenge. As an entrepreneur, I'm sure that you know that there are really countless things that can interfere with your productivity. So I want to address 4 areas mainly, and we've touched on some of them before as we've been doing all of these hashtag productivity sessions. So they won't necessarily be unfamiliar to you, but let's just have a look at them. So firstly, your mindset. How can you clean your mindset up? Remember we said your productivity is directly proportional to how relaxed you are and your ability to relax, right? So are you maybe feeling discouraged or disengaged in your business? What about your employees? And I want to encourage you to think about those things that you hate doing and see how you can get rid of them and to really reconnect with your big picture again, those lofty goals and dreams and vision boards that you might have created during January and February. Like, how can you make sure that you're staying in touch with those? And then think about how many options you've got. If you're anything like me, you might suffer from something which I call analysis paralysis, or the technical term might be paradox of choice, which is basically to say that you have way too many ideas or options or plans and you actually just don't know which one to pick. I have an epic story about ordering Uber Eats for 3 hours long just because there were too many options at the time. But anyway, that's as an aside. And then think about how you can nourish yourself so you can perform really well. So looking at the amount of time that you're sleeping or resting or napping, what you're eating, how you're stimulating your mind, and thinking about things like, are you taking a lunch break? Are you going for a walk? Like, how are you breaking the focus that you have in a productive way? Okay, so that's the first one. Secondly, time management. Now, we've done a lot about time management, but just to mention, procrastination it can be a sickness. Okay, it's sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, but sometimes we need to just start with the hardest thing first, or eat that frog. But what I've really found is if I can get my mornings right, the rest of my day flows really easily from there. So it can really set the tone for the day. And then think about how you're dealing with distractions. How much time are you spending in meetings? How productive are they? I am pretty sure that an hour meeting, you could probably break down to half an hour or 20 minutes if you're very strategic about what gets discussed during that time. You have an agenda, you have action points, and it's quite nicely structured. And then think about time tracking apps. We have really covered this quite exhaustively in some of our previous sessions. So go back and check out what we did about toggle and rescue time and manic time. There are also others like harvest or ever hour, an hour stack, and now I'm just throwing around all sorts of names which you might not be familiar with. But even if you simply had to just go Google time tracking apps, you will find that your world is your oyster. So many options, and you just have to find the right one that works for you. So that's the second area. Then the third area is looking at performance management. Now, this could be your performance or it could be the performance of your employees. And from an employee perspective and a little bit from performance management side, we spoke about that quite a lot and in depth in February. So go revisit those sessions as well. But look at getting feedback on your goals. If you're on your own in your business, make sure that you have someone to bounce those ideas off of and have an accountability partner as you are just navigating this treacherous road of being an entrepreneur. Maybe think about making checklists for some of those habit goals, or even crossing off the days on your calendar as you have successfully completed those. Think about setting up processes to make sure that the people around you are not constantly asking you questions. How are you going to manage that with having an open door policy? And also, like, it goes both ways. You don't want to constantly be distracted by other people's questions. So in the same way, you might not want to micromanage your employees as much, right? Sometimes that's not so easy to do. But think about how you can create space for one another to be able to really have some focus time. Emails, let's not even get started on emails. I don't know how many times you check your emails or maybe even check your phone. If you had to check the number of times that you open your phone screen on a particular day, you will probably be surprised. So think about how you can streamline your life in terms of only replying to emails and not text or voicemails or voice notes, and sort of distance yourself a little bit from technology, because sometimes it can be a hindrance, right? Okay, then the last one. Fourth one is environment. Think firstly about what you see, and secondly about what you hear. There can be, I don't even know what the word is for sight pollution. I don't know. Think about the scenery you might have around you. Do you have natural light, or do you need fluorescent light? And how does your body react to that? How sore do your eyes get from staring at the computer the whole time? Think about how cluttered your desktop might be. I know of some people that really like putting all their icons on their desktop. I can't do that. But so not just on your computer, but even on your desk itself. Some people say that having the left-hand side of your desk open is really good for your energy and your vibes and, feng shui and all of those sort of things. But like, how tidy is it? Because even if you are a messy person, you will probably find that your productivity increases if you don't feel like you are cluttered in your environment. And then secondly, what you hear, start thinking about the types of sounds and noises that you hear. What type of music are you playing? Are you playing soothing, calming, focusing music, classical music, or hard rock? Or what is it that helps you focus? And what would stimulate your brain? You might not want dogs barking in the background or kids screaming as they are breaking things. Those sort of things can be quite, they can really create some anxiety. So think about all of those things and think how you can change your environment to really make it into a space that is more conducive to productivity. Okay, so 4 areas that we just quickly wanted to mention there. So just to recap quickly, we've got your mindset. How are you going to clean up your mindset? Secondly, time management. How are you managing your time? Remember, time is a finite resource, but even more so, your attention and your energy are even worse off sometimes, okay? You can sit for 2 hours in a meeting and not be productive at all, versus if you're spending 10-minute bursts, making sure that you're highly focused and your attention is fully there, you're fully aware, the chances of those 10 minutes being highly productive is going to be much greater than the meeting of 2 hours being highly productive, right? So that was the second one. Thirdly, look at performance management. What sort of feedback are you getting on your goals? How are you making sure that you're tracking with your goals? Really, really important. And then fourthly, your environment, what you see and what you hear. Okay, so this is the challenge for this month. And basically we have 4 months in, sorry, we don't have 4 months in March, although sometimes it might feel like it. We have 4 weeks in March. So what I want to challenge you to do is firstly, week number 1, going to start looking at how you can track your time and identify wasted time. So I've spoken about doing time audits before. So actually go see how you physically spend your time from morning to night, whether it's work time or at home time or personal time, family time, whatever. How much time are you spending on your phone? How much time are you spending focusing on work? How much time are you wasting in meetings? Okay, so think about that, week 1. Week number 2, you're going to look at identifying your top productivity blocks. What are those things that are causing you to stumble as you are working through your day? If you are feeling anxious, do you immediately turn to your phone, or do you have other ways of dealing with those triggers? Or do you go visit the kitchen and expand your waistline when you are stressed? Okay. And then week number 3, we are going to think about how much extra time or productivity do you want? Like, what does your ideal day potentially look like? Or, you know, what is that goal that you're working towards? Maybe you're wanting to add exercise into your day, or that lunch break that I mentioned, or simply adding a shutdown routine, as I have previously also spoken about. That is one of my goals for 2021, is to have a shutdown routine. And then week number 4, we are going to look at what steps we can take to close that gap from where we are to where we want to be. Okay, so this is going to be a roller coaster ride for us, for some of us more than others, in the month of March, as we are doing our hashtag productivity challenge. Wow, I've got a lot of tongue twisters here today. So I am ready for this. I hope that you are too. I would love to see what you are doing with your time, how you are spending your time, and what sort of feedback you are getting as you are spending time thinking about all of these things. So let us know what hashtag productivity hacks you find out, or what productivity blocks you establish. I'm super keen for this. So excited. So I look forward to next week when we're talking a little bit more about hashtag productivity. See you then. Bye.